tiền nó phà ra gì nè.
Cái gì đấy mình qua nhớ đi dài mình mà tôi lưu lý à rồi mình rồi này học chưa được rồi gì chắc được rồi gì mà gì không ta nếu new chuyện
Hi everyone, I'm trying to mute all your mic. Don't unmute please, because your noise is coming out. So actually everybody need to mute during the class. Only we allow you to unmute during the Q&A. So please mute your mic please, so that actually everyone can focus on the class. So I'm trying to force everybody to mute here, but you don't unmute from your side first. Okay, now we have about 239. We wait a while, so to...
okay sao look at like wow there's you Lord
Dr. YuzanaNyani, you are on mute.
We will wait for next 3 minutes. So we will start next 3 minutes. Hi everyone. So thank you for joining our class. So we will start because total registration of 400. We now reach to 244. So we can start for now. Yeah. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So we are very. My name is Charlie Jolwin. I'm from Dhamma Download. We are the event organizer for this Abhidhamma class. We are very excited and see many of you registered for this class. So total we received 428 registration and over the 20 different countries. So very good response from you all. So we thank you for your registration and participation on this Abhidhamma class. Then also thank you for, we also put up a few questionnaire in the application form. So thank you for your patience to fill up the application form. Based on this form, we receive about 67% is a female and 32% is a male. So 2/3 is a female and 1/3 is a male. Then also is a good mix for the age group, also from the age of 20 group to the 61 and above. So it is actually a good mix ratio between each category, right? So 22, 23%, 21, and 11%. So we have all age group in here, so that actually we are very glad to see all the age group in this our class. Then also we put it up one question about whether have you learned Abhidhamma before you attend this class. So the response from you is 61% is you have ever learned before, and 38% is you have not learned before. So for our objective for this course is actually we want to turn all the red color 38.4% to join to the blue color group, so that you are understanding about the Buddha after Abhidhamma after this class, right? So our objective is to change everything to the 100% to the blue group. Then also we put up one question about whether have you do the meditation before. So most of you, 78.8% is usually have done the meditation before. it's very good for us to know your background. So for our objectives, actually, after learning this class, Abhidhamma class, you can enhance your understanding in your meditation by learning the Abhidhamma. So you may have a clarity on your view in the meditation as well. So we are very glad that you have a meditation background, so that actually our teacher will actually focus on how you apply Abhidhamma concept to your daily life. Then also we put it up the one interesting question, whether you want to join Abhidhamma exam in English conducted by Myanmar government, Ministry of Religious Affairs, right? So because this, we have a long-term plan to actually go toward to the academic approach for next year. So this is actually started for us to see your interest in the Abhidhamma, right? So actually the response is 32% is actually you want to take part in the Abhidhamma exam in the academic way of learning, and 48% is actually maybe, 90% is a no, right? So actually the learning of the Abhidhamma is a two approach. One is the self-study approach and one is the academic approach, right? So self-study is actually you may not able to measure yourself that what kind of level you are achieving in and all that. So we also want to encourage you to join the academic approach, to join to the Abhidhamma exam, so that you are committed to learn Abhidhamma, memorizing all the Siddha Siddhika and all that, so that you have accelerate your understanding and enhance your clarity. So we, after this class, you may join our journey for the next year to join our Abhidhamma, the academic learning approach. So what is the exam about? So this is the website that actually our Myanmar government put it up about the exam committee in Myanmar religious Minister of Religious Affairs have this special committee called Sangat Nayaka. So this exam board is mandating all the exam for the monk, nun, and also layman, right? So you are even entitled to join into the layman exam group. So now we want to touch on the biography of the Sayalay, our teacher background. Actually, many of you already read through the Sayalay background. What I want to highlight to you here is actually, okay, the first thing is the naming, Sayalay. So for in Myanmar custom, we call monk as the Sayadaw and nun as the Sayalay. So Sayalay is equivalent to venerable. So you can address our teacher as a venerable or Sayalay Myanmar tradition, right? So the name is Sayalay Dr. YuzanaNyani. So based on the biography, you can see that actually Sayalay has been teaching Abhidhamma, specializing in Abhidhamma over the past 12 years in 3 major universities in Myanmar. So what I want to highlight here is actually Sayalay not only teaching Abhidhamma in the university, she set up her own college in year 2017 and 18 in here. So this the college called Tajatida Buddha College, right? So this is actually specialized for nun only, and actually all the materials and teaching is in English. So based on our survey form we have, is 2/3 is a female. So it is one of the opportunity if in future you like to join to the nun, you can think of this Buddha College as your training ground as well, right? So it's actually very the 3 major objectives to nurture the Buddha nun, and also to train the new generation of the nun to the thinking scale, language scale, and not deviate from the essence of the Buddha teaching, and also to create opportunity to learn locally in Myanmar as well, right? So the whole school started with the 42 nun in year 2017 and were received. So actually go to the full academic program in the year 2018, right? So in the year 2019, actually kick off a diploma BA in the Buddha study with the 38 nun, right? So for the year 2020, unfortunately, due to the COVID-19, the academic program is paused for now. So the subject matter teach in this college is Sutta, Abhidhamma, Vipassana, Pali, Buddhist, English, and thinking scale. So the college is mandated by two key principles. Is Sayalay, Nimala, and Sayalay, YuzanaNyani. That actually today you are experienced to learn from her, right? So all the faculty member, the 8 key teacher is mandating the whole thing. So mostly all are 2 doctor and 2 PhD candidate as well. Can you mute, please? Mute all. Okay. Okay, this is actually some photograph for the college activities. So you can see that all are training classes, non-school. So now actually, now we want to start our class with
2 hours ago.
Oh, yeah. So actually our class will be around 1:30 for the training, 1 hour and 30 minutes for the training. And later on, we will open up for the floor to ask your question over maybe about 20 to 30 minutes, right? So then after that, we will make conclusion for this today. So that for throughout the training for 1 hour and 30 minutes, please mute your mic, please. Right. So you can also post question to the chat room as well. So now actually we want to start the class by our tradition by saying the paying homage to the Buddha with the Namo Tassa. So please follow. So you can unmute for now for the paying homage first. Then later on you mute again for your mic, right? So okay, now let's play homage to the Buddha, please. Mute all your mic, please, so that Sayalay can start her class by teaching.
Hello everyone. Good morning to our participants in Myanmar, Thailand, Indonesia, Cambodia, China, Malaysia. In the UK, Paris, Georgia. And to those in Australia, good afternoon and good evening to everyone in the United States of America. Mengalaba, auspiciousness to you all. It's a great honor and privilege for me to be here today to conduct an 8-week Zoom class on the what does Abhidhamma mean to us, as kindly and actively organized by the Dhamma Download family. And first, I would like to extend my warm welcome to this class And my heartfelt appreciation goes to the Dhamma download family and all the participants from all over the world and everyone who make this class a success. I was very happy and excited to see that we have over 400 participants who have registered for this class. It shows that how much people got enchanted to the teachings of the Buddha. And also thank you very much for your trust in me. As a learner of Abhidhamma, I myself don't want to say myself as a teacher, but since I'm conducting this class, I would generally be addressed as a lecturer. But as a learner of Abhidhamma, for this 8 classes, 8 weeks, we all will see what Abhidhamma means to us. So I hope that this theme that I have chosen for you would be sort of interesting, at the same time motivating to raise and ask questions on what Abhidhamma means to us. So before we go and see what Abhidhamma means to us, first, I would like to share what Abhidhamma tells us. Okay, so what Abhidhamma tells us? So many of you have heard of this word Abhidhamma, and there are quite some Buddhist traditions that teach and share and practice this Abhidhamma teaching. And coming from this Theravada background, I would stand on the ground that Theravada, in the Theravada tradition, Abhidhamma is the teaching of the Buddha. I say that because in the scholastic world, some scholars hold the opinion as Abhidhamma is the later work. Not to argue this, through this course, we will see how Abhidhamma is taught and how it has been handed down to us from tradition to tradition. And I'm sorry that I couldn't provide you with the prior handouts or notes or reading materials. And actually, I'm also new to this Zoom class or teaching, especially teaching to this group of large gathering like this. So I have prepared these materials. We would say reading or teaching materials that we would be using in this class. So as you can see here, we have the outline of this 8-week course on what does Abhidhamma mean to us. Bear in mind, this is a question open to you, open to me. So as we go through, we will see what Abhidhamma would mean to us. And at the end, hope at least it means each and every one of us will be able to provide an answer on what Abhidhamma means to me, right? So this is our target. So prior to what we go about, what Abhidhamma means, or what Abhidhamma tells us, I would like you to have a look at the textual analysis of the Buddhist teachings. So that would be our first focus. And later on, of course, we will have an overview of the Abhidhamma that would cover the definition and the origin of the Theravada Abhidhamma, and of course, a brief introduction on the 7 Abhidhamma texts. Later, as I'm based in Myanmar and trained in this Theravada tradition, especially in Myanmar, there is one text that we use, that is the Abhidhamma Sangaha. In Myanmar, pronunciation is the Abhidhamma Tengaha, or commonly known as Tenjo, because that would be served as the summary of the 7 Abhidhamma texts as per the scholars. And Of course, it is rather true. So we will have an outline of that book or that text. So from that, we can see what Abhidhamma will tell us. Then I won't be going through all these compendium for this class. And we have some sub-themes or the area of discussion as can see here. So that is, I have chosen some, and I hope you will be glad to study. And if you already know, then it would be sort of revising or refreshing your understanding or your memory or whatever. So the first one, getting to know our mind and body. Of course, from the feedbacks that I have received from the registration, like there are many who are interested to know about mind and body. And some people say that we would like to understand about ourselves because according to the Buddhist teaching, both in the Sutta and Abhidhamma, you might as well know that we, so-called in the common language, is a combination of mind and matter. So when we say that we want to know ourselves better, we got to see what is our mind, what is our body, how they are mutually relating to each other and how they function in our life, in our daily life, in our meditation practice, right? So this is getting to know our mind and body. Of course, you might say that I know my mind and body rather than you do. Yes, but as per the teaching of the Abhidhamma, what we know ourselves is only on the surface. And with the Buddhist teaching, we will be able to go deeper and measure our understanding, right? Then the next one, which is also one of the very important topics in the Buddhist teaching, and actually for everyone, that is the karma and its function. What does karma mean in Buddhism? Are we the creator of the karma, or are we created or under any sort of being dominated by any supernatural agency or so? How does karma function in our life, right? Some people might think, I'm doing good in this life, but what I'm encountering is not what I have done. It means I'm not getting what I have sown. I'm reaping something different. So there might be some sort of misunderstanding, and it's important that we don't get misguided from that. So it's also good to know about karma and its function. So when we say somebody is doing good, but the good result hasn't come yet, it means the time has not yet come, or in the word of Abhidhamma, the time has not yet ripened to produce the result. So it's also important to know so that we are certain that we are the creator of our own karma, our own life, this life and the next, or the lives after. After that, I have intended to touch upon the Paticca Samuppada, right? In what we Myanmar people call Paticca, right? The law of causality or the dependent origination. It means how our life cycle starts, our life cycle operates, and how it ends, carrying the potentiality of karma along all the way. So this is what Paticca Samuppada will tell us. And from the Abhidhamma point of view, we will see that since the beginning of our very life, or since the very beginning of our life, we have started with mind and body. So this is the third topic that I have intended to touch upon. And the last one, that is the Patthana, which many people believe to have produced good results and are fond of reciting. Yes, recitation is also helpful, but at the same time, we need to have sort of contemplation or applying. So in that I say Vipassana in daily life. So I hope that your interest will come under these umbrella sub-themes of getting to know our mind and body and about our karma and functions and how our lives starts and operates and ends, and at the same time, how we can live our life better and peacefully, and of course, more beneficially in the context of the Vipassana. So this is what I have chosen. And I have noticed that some people have sort of interest in the VT or the thought process, and like Yamaka or Pokala Penyati, some of the Abhidhamma texts as the area of the interest. And I hope that even though not to a big extent, that we will be able to cover somehow as we move along, right? So I hope that you will kindly agree with me. And moving on to the next one, that is the textual analysis of Buddhist teaching. Some of you or many of you might know, but my intention is for those who are new to Abhidhamma and who are not yet much familiar with some of the textual analysis or study, though they might have the practice at the background, or maybe those who are rather or totally new to Abhidhamma. So on that background, I have decided to start with the textual analysis of Buddhist teaching. So you can just listen to me as I go along, and if you need a reference, you can refer to the information on the slide provided here. Because it might be distracting to listen to me and to look and to read and sort of thing. So if you don't need the reference, just feel free to listen and be relaxed. So are you with me so far? Okay. Do you hear me well?
Yes.
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 Thank you very
Yes,
much.
very clearly, very clearly.
Very clear, Sayalay.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, the Buddhist teaching. When we say the Buddhist teaching, these are the teachings delivered by the Buddha for 45 years throughout his ministry or teaching. So these Buddhist teaching, which the Buddha has delivered throughout 45 years, can come under two umbrella terms, Dhamma and Vinaya. Okay, so we can summarize Tipitaka or three baskets or the text as Dhamma and Vinaya. So Vinaya, which in Myanmar we call Vini. So I have to get your permission to use some of the Myanmar words or Burmese words occasionally. I hope at least you also get familiar with some of the Myanmar words. Vinaya or Vini, that embodies or that contains the rules and disciplines laid down for the monastics. By monastics, it means to the Sangha. Sangha means the communities of monks and nuns. So this is the monastic code of discipline that the Buddha has laid down for his community so that they live in accordance with the holy life. Because when the Sangha live in the holy life, it is also beneficial for themselves and also for the donors who do merit, because we believe this is a field of merit where we can sow the seed of the merit. So the next word, Dhamma, which is very important and which bears many meanings. But here, just bear in mind the term Dhamma. What is Dhamma? So in this Dhamma, we can include the remaining two teachings, Sotanda or Sota, as many of you know, and the Abhidhamma. So for the Sota or the discourses or the teaching or the sermon that you are listening, you are reading, you are putting into practice from time to time, this form one of the basket or the pitaka, as you can see down there, the basket. So pitaka or pitaka in Myanmar is a Pali word, and it can mean collection or basket where you put things, or it can also mean the text or the book or something to be learned. Okay, pitaka means something to be learned, or sometimes translated as the basket. So relating back to the Buddhist teaching and summing up, all the Buddhist teaching can be summed up under the Dhamma and Vinaya. And Vinaya, of course, is the monastic discipline. It forms a basket or one of the three Tipitaka, right? And another two, Sota and Abhidhamma. So the word Dhamma covers Sota and Abhidhamma. And of course, to refer to the Sota or the Sotanda, the discourses or the sermon, we just use the term Dhamma. But when we come to the Abhidhamma, you might notice another term. In front of Dhamma, we have Abhi as the prefix, as the modifier. So in this way, the teachings in the Abhidhamma is distinguished by using the word Abhi, so it becomes the Abhidhamma. Okay, so Buddha's teaching can be summed up as Dhamma and Vinaya. This is one way of classification. And another classification is about Vinaya, Sota, and Abhidhamma, right? So don't worry, we will see the significance of Buddha's teaching. You might be wondering that we come to the Abhidhamma class, and why is Sayalay or Venerable telling about all the Sota and Vinaya? Because I want you to see and understand the whole picture, and at the same time, how beautifully they are mixed and blended for our full understanding, complete understanding, and making our practice a complete one. So, three baskets, or the Tipitaka, they are given different names. It means the teachings are given different names. The first one, here you can see three kinds of teaching of Desana. Can you read the script? Is it clear for you? You can just nod your head. Okay, yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So,
three kinds of teaching.
Vinaya. This is the teaching expounded by means of the authority. Authority in the sense that the Buddha has the authority or the power to lay down the monastic rules for the Sangha community as the time and occasion arises. Only when there are some sort of offenses or some wrongdoings, which we also call transgression, the Buddha laid down the rule. So in such laying down of the rule, that the Buddha has to use his authority, otherwise it won't be used at all. So that's why it is known as the Anadesana, that is teaching expounded by means of authority, right? Another one, Sotanda, that is the discourses. So here I have mentioned discourses expounded using common expressions or the conventional terms. You listen to the Sotas. These days, due to the advanced technology, it is much privileged that you have the chance to listen to Dhamma in various ways, maybe online classes like this, or the online Dhamma teaching, or the recorded one, or the new channel that focus on the Buddhist teaching, and they might transmit from time to time, like the Dhamma download. And we also have this Parami, and in Myanmar we have Mahabodhi and Skynet and all sort of channels that would be transmitting. The Dhamma that you hear from that, these are what we call the discourses. So listening to such kind of Dhamma, you are not much new to the terms. The terms, the Buddha used the term, or the Dhamma preachers, they just use the term that are very familiar to our daily life, or our common expression. Like now you are living in the East or in the West, or in the United States or UK or Singapore or Malaysia or elsewhere, using these names or using the names during the lifetime of the Buddha, or using the common term as the man, woman, and about the location. So the terms that are used are the words of the common expression or the conventional terms. It means we are not new to any terms. Just by using the terms that are very familiar to us, that is taught. So that is the Sautanda. This Sutta teaching is known as the Mohara Desana. It is known as the Mohara Desana. I think because the organizers have heard the voices coming from some of the background of the participants, that we often have to go muted. So I'm also trying to take care to unmute myself with this technology. So in my understanding, the participants will have the chance to talk when the time has come for the question and answer, right? For the time being, for the convenience of everyone, that we go. A moment, please. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, because of the loose connection in the cable, that the power has go down, then I'm afraid it might get switched off. So now it's okay, sorry. Going back to this, in the Sutta teaching, we just hear the terms that are familiar to us. There's nothing new. But when we come to the Abhidhamma, here, the teaching is expounded by use of ultimate terms, right? Ultimate terms about mind and body, this we know. When we come to Abhidhamma, we use the term, the mind is nama and body is rupa. So nama and rupa, right? To some, it may be new. To some, it's very familiar. Right? And also about what we call ourselves is a combination of the 5 groups or 5 aggregates. In Pali, what we call anda. Right? So now we are new with this term, nama, mind. Actually, the phenomena itself is not new to us, but the term is new to us, nama, right? And then rupa. So these are new terms, sort of technical terms. So every subject matter has its own technical term. Take Abhidhamma as a subject. when we study, take Abhidhamma as a subject, of course, Abhidhamma itself also has technical terms, just like you do in the medical terms, like the technical terms, right? So for this Abhidhamma, the Buddha expounded using these ultimate terms. So this is known as the Paramattha Desana. And going another way, so in this way, these Buddhist teachings are known as the Anadesana. The Desana is the teaching, to get familiar with you with some words, but don't take it too hard, because I'm afraid that you might run away after the first class, the first lecture, that Sayalay is using all the Pali terms which you are not interested or familiar, right? This is the term that the Buddha has used. So if we would like to study Buddhist teaching, it's also essential and sort of important to get familiar with this term from time to time. But since our class is not exam oriented, you can be sort of free, even if you don't remember, at least you had this. So another one, 3 kinds of teaching or dispensation, that is the sasana. Sasana is the Buddhist teaching. Then Vinaya. In the monastic disciplines, for the Buddhist community, the Buddha has laid down the monastic rules. So when they come into transgression, then this teaching is there to use. So it means admonition used in accordance with one's transgression. So that is the Yathaparada Sasana. Now the cool down and more. Yeah. Keep that back there. So and so told on. The cool time. Sorry to get interrupted. I have concern for the power outlet. Yeah. Not this one. Then moving on to the another one, that is the Sodanda, teaching expounded to suit the temperament of the listeners. You might have heard from many discourses that during the time of the Buddha, as the Buddha can read other people's mind and also about their past existences, the teachings are given that suit their temperament. So in the teachings of the Buddha, or in Abhidhamma as well, we can see the 6 kinds of the temperament. The first one, people who have lots of attachment or craving, this we call the raga charita, who are very much likened to get attached to things, to people, right? And who are very fond of things or the materials. This is the raga charita. And another one, like people often get irritated, who often get upset, and who often have outbursts from this anger. They have this anger temperament of anger, that is the dosa-charita, and another one that is the moha-charita, that is a sort of delusion. Delusion means something that because of this delusion, then we are unable to see things as they really are. Like people who have cataract in the eye, and when the vision is thickened or covered by that cataract, they are unable to see things clearly. They feel that there is sort of something shielding in the vision, right? And in the same way, like when there is heavy rain, suppose you would be driving or you would be in the house or in the car, when the rain come and when the raindrops come and hit the glass window, then your vision become blur. You won't be able to see things clearly. In the same way, when there is moha, then we're not able to concentrate on things. We're not able to study much, and we won't have progress when this moha is predominant. So this is another type. And another one, saddha. Saddha, or the confidence. Of course, most of us have confidence. Now in the teaching of the Buddha or the Triple Gem, and in some other faiths as well, they have confidence in the teaching. But this confidence is like confidence in the Triple Gem, karma, and its result, right? So that is the saddha. So when people have this saddha or this confidence, they are very much generous. They have lots of devotion, and they tend to believe in the object of the devotion or dedication or the object of homage. So this saddha charita, right? In Myanmar we call tada agang. So those who have this saddha charita, they tend to help others. And what is important is that not to have faith in the wrong object of belief. Because when we believe in the Triple Gem, when we believe in the karma and its result, we know we are the creator of ourselves. Nobody, no other outside agency or the supernatural power would come and dispel our misfortunes or save us from all these calamities and disaster, and as such, there is no such thing. So a person who has this saddha, it's important that they equate or they make balance with wisdom. So even not nowadays, in every time, there are some fake people who cheat people to make them believe by use of some powers. So this is also to be very much taken care of, because once we have belief or the confidence in the wrong object, then that is dangerous for our next life as well, because we tend to do wrong things, not knowing this is something wrong. And then another one is the intellectual, who is very bright and intelligent. Some people, as called, they are genius, or they are bright people with high IQ, and these people, they are called the people with the intellectual type. So that is the Bodhi Charita. And the last one is the Vitaka Charita. That is, some people, they are much overwhelmed or influenced by thought, Vitaka. And they are so much distracted or discursive that they are unable to do things. So this is such, the people have the different temperaments in the attachment, or in the anger or hatred, or in delusion. And another one is the confidence, the saddha, and intellectual type, and very much discursive, or the sort of restless type. This is the Vitaka Charita. So the Buddhist teaching are expounded to suit the temperament of different individuals. So this is the background of the Sutta. Okay, in the Sutta, the teaching are expounded based on the different temperaments or the nature or the inclination of the listeners. That is the nature of the Sutta. But when we come to the Abhidhamma, it is somewhat different. That is the teaching based on the true nature. Yatha Dhamma Sasana. Dhamma. Yatha, in accordance with the Dhamma. Truly as they really are. Without considering about the temperament or the background of human being. So that is the difference between Sutta and Abhidhamma. Right? But later I will come to the sort of conclusion that these three are mutually correlated to each other. And moving on to the next one, that is about talk. We have this Dhamma talk or the Abhidhamma talk. And talk mean it also can be sort of like teaching. And the Vinaya, that is the talk to restrain minor and major offenses or transgression. That is the Samvara Gata. Samvara means restrain. We have to avoid from doing wrong things. So according to the Vinaya rules, there are some major offenses which cannot be fixed. It means when a monk or a monastic member has committed that kind of wrongdoing, that monk no longer belong to the Sangha or the holy life. But there are some minor rules that can be corrected after confession to the community of the Sangha. So you might think that we are lay people. It is no use for us to know what are the monastic codes for the Sangha, but it is not so. If you know those monastic rules and if you have knowledge, then you can also help them practice their holy life. So this is also beneficial. The next one, Sautanda, talk to dispel wrong views. Wrong view. Our view, our thinking, our philosophy is not right. It's not in accordance with the teaching of the Buddha. Then this is called wrong view. We don't have right view. A person doesn't have right view. It means wrong view. This wrong view is also very dangerous. Because if our thinking is wrong, accordingly, we will behave. We will act wrongly. Right? So this is very important. So, in Sautanda, the teaching is focused to dispel wrong views. If a person has wrong view, because that person has done something wrong, then consequently, that person would be born in the woeful abodes, in the apaya. When things are not permanent, we tend to take things to be permanent, right? We want our happiness to last long, our prosperity to last long, our loving people, our dear and near ones to live long, but it is not so. And especially during this time of COVID, many people hear the sad news that you have lost like your colleagues or the family members or the people in the world, because this is not permanent. This is not in accordance with our wish, right? This is not manageable. This is not within our control. So that is what we call anatta, non-soul, non-self. If it were soul, if it were self, we won't let that such kind of thing happen to, not to everyone, to no one. We won't let this happen to everyone, right? We won't let the world in such a chaos. But since it is not so, it happened that way. So this is the wrong view. So it's also a very important factor that we have to be taken care of. Then moving on to the Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma is the talk or the teaching that discern, it means that distinguish or that differentiates nama and rupa. Okay, the mind and body. So the term here is the nama rupa parecheda. If you wish to just recite in mind, right? Nama rupa parecheda, to get familiarized with you. Nama is mind, rupa is body, parecheda means discerning, distinguishing, differentiating mind from matter. So Abhidhamma is the talk that differentiates our mind and matter, because we tend to attach so much to our body. We tend to attach to other people. We tend to attach to things, our favorite things, right? Because we don't have the thought that this is just mere combination of mind and matter. Of course, we will come to study later what is mind and matter, right? So Abhidhamma teaching focus on that. And this term is really important. Nama rupa parecheda. Okay? Because this is the foundation of the Vipassana practice. So here in our registered participant, we have 78.8% are meditators, right? Even if you don't practice meditation yet, doesn't matter. We will, as we go along, we will also try to relate to this meditation or as the practice. So please bear at least in mind this term, nama rupa parecheda gatha. Okay, the knowledge, discerning mind and matter, knowledge differentiating, knowledge distinguishing mind and matter. This is what Abhidhamma is about. At least please remember this word. Okay, then let's move on to another one. Another one, 3 kinds of practice or training seikha. In Myanmar we call taika, right? This is very important. The Buddhist teaching, at the very beginning, the Buddhist teaching, I say, come under 2 umbrella terms, Dhamma and Vinaya, right? This is one point. And as another point, in terms of the major collection or the basket, it is only 3, Vinaya, the disciplinary rules or the monastic codes of discipline, and Sotanda, the discourses or the teachings, and the Abhidhamma, right? 3 baskets or 3 pitaka. And in accordance with these 3, we have 3-fold training. That is the sila, morality, samadhi, concentration, and panya, wisdom, right? Morality or the virtue, that is the very foundation of the Buddhist practice. And as we move on to another step, that is the concentration or the tranquil state of mind or the concentrated state of mind, that is the samadhi, and the wisdom, panya. Without morality, without purification, or without cleansing our morality, we will never have our peace of mind. We can never get the concentration, right? Because the Buddha say, you might have heard this word. 1, the concentrated mind see things as they really are. I will repeat. Concentrated mind can see things as they really are, as they truly are. It's very apparent. Now we are communicating to each other. You are trying to focus on me, if you don't have focus or concentration, and if you get lost with the people or the noises around you, then you won't be able to hear me, right? So concentrated mind see things as they really are. That is the only when there is the concentration of samadhi, there is chance for the wisdom of panya to arise. So the Buddhist teaching is a very beautiful blend or mixture of these three things intertwining: morality, sila, concentration, samadhi, and wisdom, panya. Sila, samadhi, panya. In Myanmar, we call tila, samadhi, panya, right? So looking at this, vinaya, that is for the morality. Observant or the restraint of the morality. Now I'm summing up about these three teachings because I'm moving on to another word very soon. Talking about this threefold training, the monastic code is for the restraint or the refraining from the wrongdoing, wrong speech, wrong action, and wrong thought, in that it represents the morality, sila. And another one, sutta, or the discourses. You might remember one point. The Buddha aimed in the sutta teaching to dispel the wrong view. If there are wrong view, the mind cannot be purified. The mind cannot be concentrated. There is no way to get wisdom, right? Sutta teaching aim at the concentration, samadhi, and Abhidhamma, the wisdom or the panya. So that's why I would like to relate these three teachings, and you will see why it happens so. Then moving on to the next one. Relation between here, the first sermon, Dhamma Cakka Pavattana Sutta, and Abhidhamma. I want just to show you how Sutta and Abhidhamma are related. Because Abhidhamma, moving on to the next slide, you might see here, what is Abhidhamma? An overview of Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma is a combination of two terms, of course, Abhi and Dhamma, as we have heard at the very beginning. And the prefix Abhi here represents two aspects. One aspect is higher or excelling. So Abhidhamma is higher Dhamma. Abhidhamma is excelling Dhamma in one sense. So that is the meaning given by the Pali word Atireka. Okay. And another one, that is something special, something distinguished. Abhidhamma is distinguished Dhamma. Abhidhamma is higher Dhamma. Abhidhamma is excelling Dhamma. Then, in that case, are the Sutta teaching lower? Or are they not as good as Abhidhamma teaching? It does not mean so, right? Then here we can see Sutta and Abhidhamma, or in another way, Abhidhamma teaching as expounded are said to be higher Dhamma, excelling Dhamma, and the distinguished Dhamma, it means special, in the method of treatment, in the method of presentation. Okay, special or higher in the sense of treatment and in the sense of presentation. Only that is the thing. So literally we can understand that Abhidhamma is the higher teaching in which the Dhamma is expounded in more details and in an analytical way than Sutta. It goes into more detail and it goes in more analytical way. In that sense, Abhidhamma teaching is said to be higher, said to be excelling, said to be distinguished. That should be the meaning. So please bear in mind, it is very important to have this clear notion of that. Then let me go back to the another slide, the former slide. It means relation between the first sermon, Dhamma Cakka Pavattana Sutta. In Myanmar, we call Dhammasaja, which people are very fond of reciting or recitation. This recitation is also helpful when it comes along with the contemplation. This point I will come back, especially when we come to the Vipassana in daily life. So please continue your habits of this recitation, right? And how we can make it more beneficial, this point we will come later. So here, the composed factor of the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. The name seems so long, right? The noble truth, that is the Ariya Satya. This is Abhidhamma term, Ariya Satya. But of course, you also see in the Sodanda, right? Satya is the truth. In Myanmar, we call Tissa, truth. So talking about truth, we got to understand two kinds of truth, which we come in the study in the chapter 1, like conventional truth and ultimate truth. For the time being, just know this truth. So 4 kinds of truth: the noble truth of suffering, that is the Dukkha Satya. Dukkha is the suffering. Another one, Samudaya Satya, the noble truth of the cause of suffering. Let's say suffering is the problem, Dukkha, right? There must be the cause of the problem. That is the Samudaya, the cause. So the cause and effect. Because of the cause, there is the effect. Because of the attachment, there is suffering, cause and effect. This is what the Buddha teaching aimed at. So this form to the first 2 of the 4 noble truths. You get sick, and the doctor going to diagnose you. What is the cause of your sickness, right? And after that, the doctor would prescribe you. And then when you take it, if it suits you, and if it is the right medicine, then you will get cured. So in that example also, the Buddha is often likened to be a physician. A physician who treats his followers or listeners with this noble Dhamma. So suffering, the problem, the cause of problem. Then the way to the solution, and the problem is solved. So this is like the solution, this mega satya. The noble truth, that is the Ariya Satya. Noble is the Ariya, and truth is the Satya. Noble truth is the Ariya Satya of the path. The path means mega. The path, the way, mega, leading to the cessation of suffering. So that represents mega satya. So what is mega satya? We often recite Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa. These are the factors of this mega. So mega is a combination or the constituent of all these 8 factors. Then as we can see here, right view or right understanding. Right? This we call Samadhi. Not Samadhi, it should be Sama, right? Samadhi, right view or right understanding. And then we have right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Actually, this is for the purpose of the practice. But even in our daily life, we can put this into practice. You're doing a business. You need to have right understanding of the nature of your business, right? Only when you understand your business well, you will have right thought. Then what do you have to do? In doing business, you need to be sincere. So there comes the right speech. Of course, you must be trustworthy. You must behave well as well. That is the right action. And right livelihood. In Soda or in Abhidhamma, it has been explained in more detail. Here I won't deal in more detail, but right livelihood means the livelihood that, that avoids trading in the weapons and in the intoxicants and so on. This is the right livelihood. And another one, for your business to have success, you need to exert or you need to put effort. This is what we call right effort and right mindfulness. We also need this, and right concentration. So in order that you have success in your business, you need all of these factors working together. You have to get devoted, dedicated to your job. This is what is right concentration. And right mindfulness here in the mundane sense, we can take as sort of remembrance as well, because mindfulness has two aspects that we will come when we study about the mind. So this can be put in our practice. And going back to this slide, I was trying to equate these 8 factors with the Abhidhamma terms, or the what we call the mental states, or the cetasika. Right view or right understanding, that is represented by the amoha cetasika. We have heard of moha when we talk about the temperaments, deluded temperaments. Here, amoha means non-deluded, non-delusion, or in another term we can call panya, wisdom. And then right thought, that is the vitaka. Just now in the temperament we have seen this, and after that we have right speech, sama vaja, right action, sama kamanda, right livelihood, sama ajiva. Actually, right speech, right action, and right livelihood, these 3 form the sila group, the morality group. We always have to bear in mind, without the purification in the morality, we won't get concentration in our mind, and accordingly, we won't get wisdom. So even in our life, we need to be really take care of our speech. It should be right, it should be true, it should be timely, and so on. There are other factors, right? And of course, not to get people divided, not to tell lies, and not to create stories to divide people, not to backbite people. These come under this right speech. And right action, this is restraining or avoiding from the killing, sexual misconduct, and stealing. This is what right action is about. And then right livelihood, I have already explained. And right effort, of course, exertion, energy, these are the nature of the effort. This is represented by viriya cetasika. So we Myanmar people are familiar with this one, viriya. And right mindfulness, sati. Of course, every meditator knows this, sati, satipatthana, 4-fold objects, that the mindfulness practice based on the 4-fold object. And right concentration, this is represented by this ekagata cetasika. So I'm trying to say that what is outlined in the Sutta as the 4 Noble Truths, it has been identified by the factors in the Abhidhamma. So this is how they are related. So Abhidhamma details the Dhamma that has been outlined in the Sutta. So let me move on to the next. And I have already touched upon what Abhidhamma is. Then I hope by now you understand that Abhidhamma is the teaching that is higher or that excels than Sutta, in the sense that it taught the Dhamma in more details and in an analytical way. Then what is the Abhidhamma? If we look from this scholastic standpoint. So here I have just quoted a few authors from the Bhikkhu body. It says Abhidhamma has 3 dimensions. That is the philosophy, psychology, and ethics. It means Abhidhamma covers all these 3 aspects. So Bhikkhu body is an American monk, And later we will see that she is the editor of a comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma, which is the translation of the Abhidhamma Sangha. Then we have another scholar, Titila. Venerable Titila was celebrated, one of the celebrated Myanmar scholar monk who have lived in the West for quite many years, and he has lived up till to the age of 100. So in his words, he say Abhidhamma is the psychoethical philosophy. Again, a combination of three. And here I'm also quoting Silananda, that is the most venerable Dr. Silananda Bhiwamsa, also one of the renowned Abhidhamma scholars and shadow of Venerable, has lived in the United States for over, I think, 2 decades. And also the first rector of our International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University. So here, as it says the overview, what is Abhidhamma and how it is interpreted by scholars. This is just a brief introduction. And here a list of the 7 Abhidhamma texts. And as we are running a bit out of time, I don't think I would go in detail, right? So later you can get this material, Dhamma Singani, the explanation of the Dhamma, or we can also say the enumeration of the Dhamma. So in the Dhamma Singani, all the ultimate realities, that is the Nama or Rupa, or the Jada and Cetasika and Rupa, they are enumerated in much details. And the second one, Vibhanga, that is the book of analysis. As the name analysis go, it has altogether 18 chapters that focus on the aggregates, Khanda, and Ayatana, and so on. And another one, Dhatu Gatha. Dhatu is also another, this technical term, that is the element. It focuses on detail. So the first 3 Abhidhamma texts, this Dhamma Singani, Vibhanga, and Dhatu Gatha, they really focus on the ultimate realities. And the fourth one, Pokala Panyati, this is somewhat different. Designation of individuals. It's about different human types and different human attainments. So this is, as the name goes, Panyati, that is the concept. Unlike the former 3 Abhidhamma texts, this one focuses on the concept, Panyati. And the 5th one, Kathavatu, that is the point of controversy. It is also like a sort of the debate with the Theravada view and some other different view. And based on that, it is prepared in the form of a debate, that is the Kathavatu, and Yamaka, the book of fairs, based in the sense of question and answer, just to sharpen your intellect. So this is, the scholars say, that is the Yamaka, and Patana, of course, the book of relations. So 7 Abhidhamma texts in altogether 12 volumes. This is in the edition of the Myanmar tradition, that is the 6th Buddhist Council tradition. And altogether 7 Abhidhamma texts amount approximately 5,000 pages. So it's too much, and it's rather difficult for us to have acquainted with all these things. So what we do is that before we could be able to study the 7 Abhidhamma texts, what we can do is that we can study a summary text, right? A summary text. So here, a manual of the manual of Abhidhamma, Abhidhammata Sangaha. Sangaha means a manual or an exposition or a collection, right? So this text is popular text in Abhidhamma studies in Myanmar is based on this text because it is considered and believed to be a summary of the 7 Abhidhamma texts. So the author is the Venerable Anuruddha, originally from India, and who went to study in the Sri Lanka. He has compiled this. And there are some translated works here. Manual of Abhidhamma by the Venerable Narada Mahathera of Sri Lanka. And another one, a comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma that is revised by Bhikkhu Bodhi, where he has edited, and the table and the introduction done by Venerable Dr. Silananda Bhiwamsa and Venerable Dr. Revada Dhamma. These two Myanmar Sayadaw who have lived in the West for quite some time. So here, I have outline of this Abhidhamma Sangha. Many of you are not going for the exam, but it doesn't matter because as my chosen theme is what does Abhidhamma mean to us? And at the very beginning, I say that we also got to see what Abhidhamma tells us. So rather than just talking itself, I think it would be beneficial for you to have outlines of that Abhidhamma Sangha. And here I have prepared some slides. Then the chapter 1 is about the consciousness Jeta. And here chapter 2, mental states Cetasika. So the consciousness and the mental state, these two we term mind or nama. So our mind, that you are listening to me, at the same time, you can see me, you can hear me, and you know that your body is touching, sitting in the chair or on the floor, so you know the touching. At the same time, you are thinking, very often relating to what you know before with what I'm sharing now, right? So this is the working, how our mind is working. So the chapter 1, consciousness, it elucidates the nature of the two main concepts. That is the ultimate realities, paramattha. Paramattha means this consciousness, jeta, mental states, cetasika, our state of mind. It belongs to consciousness. And of course, our physical body and the materials around us. And when all the pains, physical and mental pains, and all the craving attachment, it come to cease, come to stop, we call that cessation, that is the Nibbana. So what Abhidhamma tells us about us is about these things, ultimate realities, which we call Paramattha Dhamma, because they are real ultimately. Ultimately in the sense that there is no more which we can analyze into detail. And of course, concept, panyati. Now I'm talking to you and we are communicating to each other by using this concept. From the point of Abhidhamma, what we human beings or the things around us is the combination of nama and rupa, nothing more than that. But how do we communicate? You are nama rupa sitting there, I'm nama rupa sitting here, but of course we need the name, the concept, the term to communicate each other. Even the word Abhidhamma itself is a name. So the name and the thing, they themselves are the concept, right? This is a pen because we come to the consensus that this is used for writing, this pen, right? We were taught this is a pen, so we note it. Can I have a pen? Then you relate. So when I say a pen, you see in your mind, the material to write. So this is a conventional term. But when we come later, we will see how this pen is composed of in the ultimate sense. So here, chapter 1, ultimate realities and the concept. This is called as a pen. So this is true because this is conventionally accepted. People have accepted. So this is what is known as the conventional truth. And in the ultimate sense, it is composed of this just rupa or the matters. So here it says, chapter 1, apart from these two types of truth or two main concepts, this ultimate realities and concept, it also deals exhaustively, very exhaustively, extensively, in detail with the types and state of mind which can occur in being. So chapter 1 deals with that. Chapter 2, mental states or cetasika, it enumerates the state of mind. Actually, what we call as the mind are mostly the mental states or cetasika. That are you happy, whether you are happy or whether you are excited or you feel rejoiced in what you're doing or you're getting upset for not getting what we wish or what we want, or the state of mind that is concentrated, the state of mind that is restless, the dull state of mind. All these are the name of the cetasika. So whatever we encounter in our life, the state of mind, these are termed as the mental states cetasika. So the chapter 2, it enumerates the states with the attributes or the qualities. Quality or attribute here mean the nature. Like lobha, for example, attachment. It has the nature of getting attached to things, wanting things, clinging to things, craving on things. Either it arises in my mind or in your mind or in anybody's mind, it doesn't change. Then the nature is always true. That's why it is known as the ultimate reality paramattha. Even in the governor or the king or the queen, suppose there is attachment, lobha, it has to be termed as lobha. Termed as lobha in the sense that its nature doesn't change. So I like this word of the Sayadaw Usilananda. He said, Abhidhamma doesn't practice diplomacy. In the conventional sense, you can simply go and say that His Excellency, Her Excellency, you are very greedy. What happened? You will be fired, right? You can say that in the conventional sense. But looking from the ultimate standpoint, we can change the nature. In whoever mind arises, even in the cat or the dog, the nature remains the same. That is what is ultimate reality is about. And apart from that, the second point shows in what manner they group and operate together. The Abhidhamma is really interesting. When we study about our mental state later, for those who are new to Abhidhamma, we'll come to understand that there is no jada or no mind that comes alone. It always comes in a group. So this is very important. And in the group in which the nature is the same. Like we have a saying, birds of feather flock together. Like people with different same nature, they gather together, they can associate or they can deal with each other. And in the same way, the same is true for this mental state, that they always come together and they walk together in a group. And chapter 3, that is the miscellaneous. So after looking about the mind and the state of mind or the state of the quality or the property of mind working, then that chapter further details and analyze it in terms of feeling Vedana. or in terms of its origin or root, the cause, and how they function together, and through which door they passes through, and the object. When we talk about the object, it's very important. There is one principle that we got to always remember. The mind is never without the object. It means the mind is always with the object. Sometimes our mind is wandering so much and so restless that we don't think there is any particular object, because the mind is moving so fast. Though I'm sitting here, my mind can go elsewhere. Though you're sitting in your chair, you can just go back home, you can go to work, and you can go and manage many things in your mind. The mind is so fast. But there is always an object, and the mind takes object only one at a time. So when we say mind is a combination of this awareness, consciousness meaning awareness that knows the object, there is nothing far more than awareness or knowing the object that the consciousness or the Jeta can do. The Jeta simply know, and this is colored by the Cetasika. So they arise together, taking the same object. Now, people are seeing this note or seeing me, right? The object of Jeta is this object, this light, and so is the object of this mental quality. So they must be the same. So in chapter 3, it's described the classification, all these working nature of mind in terms of sixfold classification. Then moving a bit fast, I know we are a bit beyond the time, and I'm actually occupying the time of your question and answer, but I hope that you will kindly allow me to cover up this, will you? Okay, thank you. So the outline of chapter 4 and 5, that is about thought process. There are some people who have studied Abhidhamma, they would like to know about this mind process or thought process as well. Abhidhamma is such a detailed analysis of mind and matter. Let's say about mind, that when we say that we see something, it is not simply one consciousness or Jeta arising alone. It comes in a series of thoughts, which we call mind process or thought process. In Pali, is the viti. Now you're hearing my voice. Before you could hear me, there is a process of the Jeta that comes before the actual hearing. And after hearing, also some other kinds of Jeta functioning on the same object, interpreting, relating to the object. So in this way, Abhidhamma focuses on the process, active and passive mental processes. I'm talking, you are listening, you are thinking, right? Somebody may be drinking, somebody may be chewing something because this is almost the lunchtime in some other places, right? Then, all these are the active state of mind. And when this active state of mind are not working, there are some other type of consciousness which we call the passive consciousness. This is like the line that is running at the background, right? When the computer screen is off, there is the screensaver, something running at the background mode, right? So it is like that. So this one talks about this active and passive process of the mind. And the 5th chapter, that is the process free. It is about karma and rebirth in 31 plane of existence, which is one of the focuses of our, or the sub-theme of our discussion. So it in detail deal with the classification and the working nature of the karma, and how our life begins and how the life cycles goes on. This is about karma and rebirth in 31 planes of existences. And another one, chapter 6, that is about the material quality, about our physical body. After we have talked about the mentality or the mental states of mind in terms of mind, then there comes this material qualities or the material states or the nature of mind. So in that chapter, we can specify this matter as the primary matter and the dependent matter. Now, this pen, when I touch this, it is hot, right? So there is the nature of hardness. But comparing to the stone, it is not as hard as the stone. But comparing to this tissue, the pen is harder, right? So the hardness, this is one nature of the rupa or the matter. Another one, it is neither very soft nor very cold. But suppose I get this cup, it's still a bit warm. Okay, that would be a better example. There are some warm water here, but now it's getting a bit cooler comparing to the beginning. So the cup itself is hot. We can see the hot nature. Then suppose I drop this cup, it will be broken into pieces, right? Then how is this cup made of? In order to make this cup, there must be some powders or some material. And this is to be mixed with water or some liquid so that they stick together, they combine together. And of course, this is the nature of this water element, combining, composing things together, sticking things together. And then suppose the cup is a bit warm, that is the nature of this fire element or the tejo. And of course, in order to make this cup, it has to be treated with heat, right? There is the element of heat. And the last one, motion, moving, supporting. Because it has been, the pressure is there that the cup can just stay in itself. Here also, sitting in the chair, why are we all sitting now? And why are we all paying attention, at least in the upright position? Most of us would be in that position because we want to. It means the mind, because of the intention that we want to sit, the body is sitting upright. The intention, there is the mind. Because of the mind and supporting by this Vayodhatu or this wind element, we are sitting upright. After this, oh, it's too tiring, I need to relax. Then you would go to the bed or on some couch, then you will lie down and relax. Or sometimes you feel so tired that you don't feel like sitting anymore. So this movement, they all are the function of these elements, which we call dhatu. And this material quality, it explains about this. The mind. When you are happy, how do you feel? You feel light and cheerful in your body. And when you are angry, what happens? Your face look unpleasant and like maybe you feel pain in your stomach or your blood pressure are going high, right? This mind is one of the conditions to bring changes in our physical body. So mind is one condition, right? And the temperature. So here, temperature is just moderate, but if it were to be very cold, you have to get yourself warm with the warm clothes. And it's too warm, you might have to use the fan or aircon or whatever to adjust. So this because of this udu or temperature also, there can be some changes in the physical body. And in the same way, the nutrition. You eat some foods that are not good for your health, that are not conducive for your health, you have some pain. You take chili and you have pain in the stomach, right? So this is how nutrition brings some changes in the body. And of course, we are born differently, apparently, because of different past karma. Now we're born as a human being, fortunately, because of the previous good karmas. But now I have to use the eyeglasses because my eyesight is poor, my eyesight is weak. And some people, even though they have come up to an age, they don't need to use it. Their eyesight is perfect. So these are given, and maybe like the complexion, the appearance, all these are due to the result of our past karma. Nobody has done this. Not our parents has done this, we have done this, right? So this is also, karma is also one of the conditions that bring changes or that give effect to our physical body. So in this chapter, we're going to study all these details as well. And chapter 7, composite group, samojaya. So this is like the collection of terms, and it is like the appendix that about the aggregates or the collection of the mental and material quality we call khanda, right? And about this satya, all these, they will be treated in detail. So this is about chapter 7. And chapter 8, law of causality, that is the Paticca-samuppada, law of dependent origination, which is composed of the altogether 12 factors. To begin with, avijja paccaya sankhara, because of the ignorance, there is the volitional activity. So beginning with this, and each factor, though it become a result for the next factor, it would be the cause as well. And chapter 8 also covers the causal relations, which elucidate 24 conditions. And here it says that it is essential for the existence of an uninterrupted connection between individual states operating within such a causal series. Like we will see how Patana works for us in our life. And the last one for the meditators. It also says that the 9th chapter or the last chapter on the Kammatthana, or in Myanmar we call what Kammatthana. This is like the summary of the Visuddhimagga, that is the path to purification. So it deals with 2 types of the development, tranquility and insight, samatha bhavana and vipassana bhavana. So of course, it will deal extensively with the meditation object as well. And just as I have briefly introduced, which object is suitable for which type of the temperament or nature. So this is all about the Abhidhamma Sanghara. And looking at the structure of this, it says that the subject matter is strictly progressive, leading from the simple to the increasingly more complicated. It starts with what our mind is, what our body is, how they function together, and how the potentials of karmas are accumulated so that we are reborn, how we are reborn in the life cycle. At the same time, it also talks about the law of causality as such. And teaching is not directed towards producing a rapid superficial result in which knowledge is random and disconnected. So this is the comment given by Venerable Sitila in his book. It means the subject matters are carefully chosen and it does not come as random, though what I explain maybe go a bit random at times. And to the development of the proper basic upon which comprehension of subject may grow satisfactorily. So though it is slow and thorough, with every single sentence containing material of importance to the supportive to the comprehension. So each and every word gives us fundamental understanding or knowledge of what we are about. So that's come to the end of the introducing to what Abhidhamma is and what Abhidhamma tells us through the structure and method of the Abhidhammata Sangaha. And here I have given some references that I have used in preparing these notes. That is the Venerable Sitila, the Consciousness Enlarged, this book. This is a new publication and I have given you the reference. And another one by the Handbook of Abhidhamma Study by Sayadaw Usilananda. So it is a transcript. It is a transcript of Sayadaw's 54 lectures and printed in 3 volumes. Maybe because of light, you won't be able to see. And another one that is by the Fundamental Abhidhamma by the Most Venerable Rector Sayadaw, Dr. Nanda Malabiwamsa, that is the Fundamental Abhidhamma. And another one that is the translation of the Abhidhammata Sangaha, a comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma. It has different editions. And this book is also interested for those who have interest in the Dhammasangani, the first Abhidhamma text, Abhidhamma studies. That is the Buddhist explorations of consciousness and time. If you want to go further detail and who have the foundation knowledge of Abhidhamma. And some other texts as well. Here, some of the Myanmar texts. So this is, let's say, all about that, what I have intended to say, though at some points I can't go into much detail. And I really thank and appreciate everyone for being with me throughout this class. It has been a wonderful time with you. And I hope that it is sort of eye-opening and motivating yourself. And to those who are Abhidhamma, to get to know what Abhidhamma tells us. And later it will come to what Abhidhamma means. And to those who have already knowledge of Abhidhamma, at least, let's say, the Burmese way of thinking and relating things. And I'm really grateful to everyone for this time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sayalay. So now actually it's almost 2 hours. So I don't know, we have a time for the question and answer. So Sayalay, how is your timing now? Is
maybe five minutes or a bit more.
5 minutes.
5 or 10 minutes. Yes, okay.
So we will take one question from the ground, from the floor. So actually, you can raise a question now. So actually, I saw 2 persons raising hand. One is a Lenovo, and one is a Dr. Angtrun, right? So maybe I will actually ask to unmute for the Lenovo. So can you please ask your question? Can you unmute? Hello? Yeah. So, how to change the gallery view? Okay, for if let's say Lenovo is not able to ask question, maybe we go to the Dr. Angtrun, right? So maybe you can ask question.
Sayalay,
Were you able to ask in English, please, so that everybody understand your question?
Oh, okay. Sayalay, sometimes this Abhidhamma is take a long time to study, and also a lot of time commitment, and also a lot of memorization. And sometimes I notice that there's a book written by Ashin Sanaka Biwanta called Practical Abhidhamma. Is also known as Coaching Abhidhamma. And what's your intake on that one instead of this one for people who don't have time, or is it more compact, or how do you relate, or is it even we finish this course, should we continue to the Coaching Abhidhamma book by Ashin Sanaka Biwanta, or is it different philosophy, or is it more people who finish this course should still read the book, or is you? I would like to get your recommendation and see whether this book is for the people who are easy to understand, or people who don't have time to study these long courses of Abhidhamma. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Anton, for your interest. And actually, he is referring to this book, right? Coaching Abhidhamma. Coaching Abhidhamma. Yes, we also have this translation by Siaji Ukole, Abhidhamma in Daily Life. Of course, I do recommend this book as well, whether you are new to Abhidhamma or who have started Abhidhamma, because this is prepared by Ashin Sanaka Biwamsa. In Myanmar, we call Ashin Sanaka Biwamsa, or better known as the Tao Myo Sayadaw, because of the Tao Myo is that represent Amarapura, where Sayadaw is based. Of course, it is much recommended, and from this book you can see this is printed 117 times. The book itself mentions 17th edition, right? Then in that book you can have this question and answer as well about these ultimate realities, and about the karma, and about death, and all these things, and about the 31 planes of existence. And at some point, Sayadaw has touched upon detail of the mental states. Just now I turned this page, though it is in Myanmar, it is about the Hiri and Oddabba. Hiri and Oddabba is the shamelessness, moral shame and moral fear. It means we are ashamed to do something wrong. It means out of respect for oneself. You don't do something wrong out of respect for yourself. This is hiri. And maybe I don't do out of respect for my community, because if I do something wrong, like nuns or sayalays will get condemned by the community out of respect for others. This is what is oddabba, moral dread or moral fear. So this fear is the wholesome fear, I have to say. So this is also known as the conscience, human conscience. Out of respect for yourself, out of respect for others, you avoid from evil. So this is one subheading where this is talked about in small detail. And of course, about what is the true compassion and what is the fake one, and about our dosa, and about the mental states. It has been explained in much detail with the story and with a simple example of the daily life. So I really recommend this book. And another one, we also have, if you go further, this is by the Tenjo Padadika, right? This is also the same thing prepared by the Tao Myo Sayadaw. For this is for the, let's say, those who already have the knowledge of Abhidhamma. This is a very good commentary that is recommended. So, of course, I do recommend the work of the Tao Myo Sayadaw with much respect. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Sayalay, you like to take the last question? So maybe we will ask
yes.
Nisa. Nisa, so I'll ask you to unmute.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much, first of all, for the most wonderful teaching. My question is, would it be appropriate to contact or to ask the question to Sayalay through email?
Yes, you can contact me if you wish. Yes.
What is your email address?
Okay.
So, Mr. Charlie, how do we give this?
Yeah, we will send you over the email under the register email so that everybody has have a chance to actually ask question to the Sayalay.
Thank you.
Okay, so actually now our time for the 2-hour duration is up, and hopefully it is a beneficial for you for this session. And okay, we will actually able to see you in the next week. Everybody request you to come back to the next Sunday, please. Right? So okay, thank you, Sayalay, and we will end our lesson for now.
Before ending our lesson, can I recite the Buddha Sasanam? That is,
sure.
Making a wish for the Buddhist teaching to last long.
Okay.
Even as a way of guide for the life, may this teaching last long. For those who believe in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, we wish that the Buddhist teaching may last long. And for those of different faiths, this precious teaching will last long, at least you would have be able to bear in mind. So later we will have the script. And now let me lead this recitation. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Daitadu. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Daitadu. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Daitadu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May the teachings of the Buddha last long. May the teachings of the Buddha last long. May the teachings of the Buddha last long. Well done, well done, well done. So may there be all blessing. Bhavatu sabba mangalam. Rakhantu sabba devada. Sabba Buddha nubhavena. Sabba Dhamma nubhavena. Sabba Sangha nubhavena. Sada sukhi bhavantu te. May there be all blessings. May the deities protect you. By the power of the Buddha, by the power of the Dhamma, by the power of the Sangha, may you all be well, happy, peaceful, and accomplished. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for making success.
Yeah, thank you, Sayalay, and thank you, everyone. Now we will end this the class now.